Nope. Had a false start like a virgin on prom night, Dave.
Yep. Had a false start like the Emperor's clothes. Hey, you fucks, this is Everyone's Wrong. I'm Dave, a.k.a. the Great White North.
And I am Dustin Dark, the all-knowing Samoan. Can I still go by that now, Dave? Without the does it even fit anymore? Or am I just another fat Mexican?
Nah, man, you look more you look First Nations now.
Okay, it's so funny, man. Like what my old joke back in high school was that my race depended on my location.
Okay.
Because as I get closer to Texas, I become Mexican.
All right.
As I move towards Florida, I'm suddenly Cuban.
Okay.
Apparently, when I talk to Canadian, I'm First Nation.
You're First Nation. Ojibwe.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Ojibwe.
When I was out in the Carolinas, they're like, "What are you? Some kind of weird fucking like Geechee hybrid?" And I was like, "No."
Weird Geechee. Fucking racist fuckers.
Well, like it's funny to me, man. It's funny to me.
Mm.
No, after last week's episode, I sent my dad clips because he loves the South. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
sorry, Dave, and anyone that happens to spend 3 hours of their life, 2 hours listening to me ramble on about the South and blacks and blacks. My bad. No, look, that tumbler was full of margarita, double strong margarita that I made myself. And I had a couple, three of those.
Oh, so complicated. Margarita. Ooh, fucking, you're a chef now.
I was drunk is what I was.
Okay.
I wasn't Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I was just drunk. And I was smoking some fine Chiba. By the end, dude, I was toasted. Just watch the last 20 minutes, and I'm in slow motion.
I was like, my eyes were crossing. I have to admit, man, I was struggling at the end there. I was like,
Yeah, my dad was like, I don't think that Canadian really cared by the end. And I was like, fuck, I don't think I cared by the end.
no, it was over with for me, man.
Yeah.
And it's not that I didn't care. It's I drank 10 pints while listening to you.
Yeah. So we were both drunk. His biggest complaint was that I said I wasn't white.
Yeah.
Which means he wasn't white. He took that as an insult. Took it personal. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Dad, if you're watching, if you're listening, I'm sorry we're not white.
Oh, that's mean.
Blame your dad. All right.
You know what though? Before we move on to my shit, it was interesting for a while, but 3 hours is fucking 3 hours.
That's why I broke it down into into.
So
three
he
sections.
only saw the part.
I think he only saw the last third where it starts with me like correcting like why people like Robert E. Lee, and then moving on from there.
All right. All right.
So he caught the strict like South love. He didn't catch the no, these are the racial IQs, and these are the crime stats, and here's a marshmallow, and this is what a marshmallow looks like in 3 hours.
Yeah. So he didn't see any of the really dry shit.
No, he caught the emotional, drunken.
Yeah.
When I posted,
I love the South. Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's the only part he saw. All right.
Yeah. If heaven ain't a lot like Dixie, then I don't want to go.
Well,
Yeah.
Jim go back and listen to all the dry shit that I sent through before you start saying that I lost interest. I don't think you'll make it through that
Fair
at
enough.
all.
Fair. So,
And I'm going to add one more thing to this is I should have done better research because on there I said my country had nothing to do with it, right?
you did.
It turns out that over 50,000 Canadians fought on both sides of the Civil War, and we actually have Confederate statues in Canada, and somebody petitioned to have them taken down, and the Ontario government said, "Fuck you, we're not taking them down." So maybe I should have done research because I was just like, you just tell me about it because that's your culture.
I get it.
Culture, but I maybe I should have looked a little bit because apparently it's my culture too.
Yeah, well, okay, like our two countries are forever entwined.
Shared culture.
No more than you can separate England from France. Can you separate?
Yeah.
Which real quick? Did you hear about the Scallop Wars?
Mm-mm.
It just happened. We don't have time. Maybe I'll bring something in next week. Okay. And it's not actually over. Okay, so there's some scallop fishing off the coast of Denmark that the French are only allowed to fish in certain parts of the year.
And vaguely, I've heard this. Vaguely,
and England is allowed to fish in the same place. At the same time with large, they have the same season the French does, but they have an additional season where small boats can go in and fish when the French aren't allowed, right? So the French got pissed about it, and they took their larger boats over there and fucking rammed into some small English boats and threatened them, right? And the English made some threats back and said they're bringing some larger boats for escorts. And the fucking French said that they're get the Navy involved.
No, they're not.
They said
the Navy's going to go in the opposite direction.
Of course. Well, first they'll have to surrender it over to Germany, and then we'll have to sink it. And then yeah. So anyway,
you're going to challenge England to a war. So, give me a fucking break.
I'll tell you what, Sargon has a series of videos on it. I'll just send them to you. Anyone watching that wants to hear more about this, just Google Sargon Scallop Wars. Anyway, you had a story about a guy from Alabama, right?
Yeah. So I met. I was in the Walmart last week. Excuse me.
What did I say when you told me that you met someone from Alabama? Do you remember what I
told you?
Sorry. And then you said you met a black guy from Alabama, and
then you said really sorry.
Yeah, I'm really genuinely sorry this time. Yeah. Okay, go
on. No, he was good. He was a good dude. He worked for he worked for the American government in the American embassy up here, and I was just chit chatting with him, and I asked him what it was like now that we're not getting along so great, and he said, well, like they used to get all kinds of privileges here, like if there was paperwork that needed to be done, and there was a lineup of countries, the Americans could just come in and skip the paperwork, and they would go to the front of the line. Well, now they're like, no, get to the back of the line, bitch.
That's so funny.
So it's like he said it's bogged down. Like it wouldn't be bogged down. It would be normal, but now it seems like it's bogged down because they have to do what everybody else does. So he said it's made his job and his task take twice as long as it used to.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks. I'm not happy about that. I would rather it was just like, and that's like, I honestly don't think that the government should be. It's really between two men, right? So when it comes to the government,
okay. How about this? That's between two men in the same way the Cold War was between, like,
Sure, but
yeah.
But I don't think it should be taken out on this fucking guy that works at the fucking. It's not his choice, so he's just a working stiff. You know what I mean? Yes. Like he's working in an embassy. It shouldn't be taken out on him. Like as soon as Trump's gone, he's going to have those privileges again anyway. So why bother taking them away now?
He's actually part of a government And the whole point is to make everything as hard as they can for,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a Cold War. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I personally don't like it though. I think they should just whatever.
Did you ask him which was worse, being an American in Canada or being a black in Alabama?
I didn't, but he did say that I didn't, but he did say that it's much more chill here. And he feels like when he feels like when he talks to people that they're not just pretending to be nice, that they're actually nice. And I said, well, some people, I'm sure. But he did compliment the Southern people and say that the hospitality is roughly the same between Canadian and Southerner. Like, you know, come into my house, eat my food.
I'll take it.
Yeah. He said that the hospitality is roughly the same, but yeah, there's not an undertone to the niceness here. It's just nice, he said, and we're a lot more chill.
One more thing for any repeat viewers: the haircut and the shave. I'm looking for a new job, and you know, so we'll
Suck
just
a dick.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just keep moving. Dave, did you happen to see the Alex Jones at the
thing.
Twitter? Go on.
One more thing.
Go on.
One more thing that I've stolen from you guys. We had a fucking tornado rip through the fucking city yesterday evening. It's fucking September 20th, for fuck's sakes.
You said it was an F what?
It's an F2, but it went for 40 clicks.
Yeah.
Like it stayed on the ground for a long ass time.
And it caused some damage.
In one area. So there's a small town outside of Ottawa, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It wiped it out completely. Yeah. You know, like 100 homes and like a mini mall and all this. You just wiped it off the map. So done, Robin. Goodbye. Tore through all that, busted up 100 homes on the way to downtown, and then skipped across the river to Gatineau, which is the Quebec side, and smashed 60 buildings over there.
Yep.
And now tonight, and that, you know, so it was mid-30s, high humidity, had a major thunderstorm, and now tonight it's going down to 3 degrees.
Yeah. Tornadoes are such like a part of the culture here that, like, Twister was one of my favorite movies, like Helen Hunt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Was one of my favorite movies growing up, man. Twice in my life, we have had record-breaking storms. So you had one F2?
F2, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been in storms where there was 4 and 5 tornadoes that ranging from F3, F4, F5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy.
There are parts like I was at the 300 and it comes down to blocks, so I'm not fucking kidding. I'm at the 300 block in Wylam, 300 in L. And when like F4 comes down, like at the end, you know, you have, you know, 3 to 100 block. At the very fucking end, there was a strip club and there was a lumber yard.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. Now there's these nice fucking concrete slabs. You know, they're just and here's the thing, and it's still flat, and there's still half of cities. And this is a storm that crossed like 4 or 5 states at one time. You know, just rolling across states with dozens of tornadoes, just fucking wreaking havoc. Yeah, man, my great grandfather was trapped in his basement with his son. You know, like my great uncle, whatever you would call that, was trapped in the basement for a couple of days, man. I had this picture in my phone for a while where someone had taken like shoe polish on a window at a local union that said fight for the living, pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living. Mm-hmm. You know, and that was one of the, like, man, and like just dead people. I go outside and it's raining, and I'm not trying to one up, just tornado story.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Like raining clothes and family photos. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, and insulation and shit. Oh, it's one of those things that you dream about later, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'll finish up. So 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, sorry.
30 people injured, 5 critically, nobody dead. So at least nobody's dead, right?
Yeah.
It could have been worse. I guess it could have been better if it smashed into 22 Sussex Avenue.
Well, there's like 500 people. There's like 500 people in Canada. So the fact that it found a person,
yeah,
is impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
But apparently, like people were taking videos of it from Parliament as it like skated by Parliament.
It's rare for them to hit like major cities like that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's something about the landscape of cities and the high
and the
pressure,
buildings and all that. But the thing is that it started outside of the city and moved in. That's what it is, right?
Bitch, man. Yeah, I've seen like some large cities in Texas get hit, man. But it's the plain states that really get fucking reamed, where they're having, you know, like a dozen F3, F4, F5s is nothing to them, you know. To me, it's a fucking story that I remember 10 years later, but it ain't dick to them.
So when I was a kid and I would watch American television, and it would be like minus 45 outside, and I would see those fucking people in Tornado Alley there, be like, geez, I don't know why my trailer I built 5 fucking times now, and it tornado, and I always think, why don't you fucking move? And then I step outside, like, because everywhere else is fucking cold. That's why they don't move.
Well, the thing is, like, you find out that they actually do follow, not the exact same, but very similar paths over and over and over, because it is the landscape. It is the high pressure zone and this, that, and the other. So it's funny that, like, Oak Grove has gotten fucked up so many times in my life, in particular parts of Pleasant Grove where they don't even rebuild anymore. There's just fucking concrete slabs and twisted forest. Yeah. All
right. Well,
anyway,
let's jump in.
We have the Jones clips. We got a bit chatty there. So these are from these Senate hearings about social media censorship and whether or not the government should step in, right? So
does he have a shirt on? That's all I want.
Yes, he has a shirt on. So that's what's interesting to me about this. So this is the Jones long video. We might watch a little short one just for a different angle.
I think it's important for them not to comply with any efforts to sort of go after freedom of expression.
What about the Democrats purging conservatives?
He's
not answering. Just the Republicans are acting like it isn't happening. Thank God Trump is.
It's weird, man.
Oh yeah, it's really weird. There's no purge of conservatives.
I don't know.
There's no shadow banning.
Are you concerned about bias in social media?
Yeah, who's this guy? We
Are you concerned about bias in social media?
Well, I think the bigger bias is against freedom of expression. Everybody should be. There's a look. I support going after.
It's happening here, but you say I don't exist.
Is that a heckler or a press gaggle?
Look at this guy. He's saying that I don't exist, and they're
I just don't know who you are, man. I don't read your websites.
Sure, and they demonize me in these very hearings, and then he plays dumb. Infowars.com, you know what it is.
Does Google, does Facebook, does
That's why you didn't get elected.
Do they need to be regulated do they need to be regulated?
Marco Rubio the snake.
This is
frat boy here.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, who are you, man?
Yeah,
Who's
sure.
this guy? I swear to God, I don't
You
know
better
who you
hope
are,
you can
man.
deplatform me.
Enters Jones, stage left.
He knows who Infowars is. Playing this joke over here. That's why the deplatforming didn't work.
But here's the question. Here's a question.
Don't touch me again, man. I'm asking you not to touch me.
Well, sure, I just patted you nicely.
I know, but I don't want to be. I don't know
You want me
you,
to
man.
get
I don't know
arrested?
who you are.
It's not just gonna
You're not going to
take
get
my First
arrested,
Amendment.
man. You're not going to get
It's not just
arrested. I'll
enough to
take
take
care
my
of it
First
myself.
Oh, he'll beat me up.
Rubio, tough guy Rubio.
You like that, don't you? Don't you? Oh my God, man!
I think Jones would smash him.
So which is worse? That he's trying to bullshit and say I don't know who you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or would it be worse that Rubio doesn't know who Alex Jones is and still gets a say on internet censorship?
He knows who Jones.
He knows who Jones is.
He fully well knows who Jones is.
How limp dick of a fucking response. Who are you? I don't even know who you are. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's like saying, like, I seem to hear a noise, but no one's talking to me. I mean, can you hear someone talking?
He reverted back to his college days real quick there. Where he's like, I don't even know you, man. You want to fucking go me? You know what I mean? Like, he just like, it's, yeah, it was super funny.
What's funny is that, like, Trump has exposed these people's, like, weakness.
Mm-hmm.
He really has. You know, he used to call Rubio Little Marco Rubio. And it's so because he look at him with the little guy syndrome here, like, oh, you won't go to jail. You're absolutely making a fucking threat and acting like you're not.
Yeah. Well, he see people say that because they don't want to seem like they're getting bullied, right? But they don't want to actually do anything about it.
Yeah.
Because if somebody touched you and you didn't like it, you'd smack them in the mouth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, speaking from experience, if somebody doesn't want you touching them, they smack you in the mouth.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. What Dave means is he's been smacked in the mouth a few times. This is halfway done. Let's finish the heckling here.
You know, I am, but he's so mad. You're not going to silence me. You're not going to silence America.
But there are people.
You are literally like a little gangster thug.
There are people in this country who
Rubio
feel
just
that
threatened to physically take care of me.
there are people who feel that they're being
you already got rid of my First Amendment.
silenced. They feel like
He tells you China's the problem, which it is, but they're taking our free speech right now.
Social media platforms, Facebook,
There goes Rubio.
Twitter. Do you believe that these platforms need to be regulated like a public utility, and how do you go about doing that?
Well, I prefer not to. I prefer competition take care of that. But obviously, we're going to watch closely to make sure that these tools that are being used. I mean, one thing is to say we're going to go after foreign interference designed to sow instability.
But it's already going on here.
Another thing is to
The
say we're
Democrats
going to
are
go after
raping the
free
Republicans.
speech. Because at some point, someone has to make a
Democrats are raping
determination. What's the
InfoWars.
difference between, you know, misinformation from abroad and differences of opinion within the United States?
that's
It's a
happening
very
here.
fine line, and that's something we need to be careful about. We don't overreach in that direction.
But then he doesn't know
so
about
these
InfoWars being
companies
banned. He doesn't know
have
about
to
the
be
top
very
news story in the
careful about how they, not just how they apply that within the United States, but they don't
Infowars.com
become
is better than
agents
ever.
of authoritarian regimes abroad to crack down on free speech, because
why Rubio got so
there's
mad
a
at me and
there's
threatened
a
me
there's a
physically.
balance between what is free speech and what people disagree on.
Poor
During
Rubio.
the hearing,
Yeah, man, I got to go to the committee.
Exactly.
You guys can talk to this clown.
Oh, yeah. Look, he's a little frat boy. So cool. Go back to your bathroom.
Exactly what you said. He fucking went back to high school or to college.
I'm gonna admit that I found Alex annoying there too.
Oh yeah, I found him annoying, but you know, once he's taking a page literally right out of Trump's book, where he's using like outrageous words and actions, harmless, but to get free press coverage. And he really pinched Rubio there. Like, if he doesn't know who Jones is, he has no right to be selling any of that. Anyway, I just thought you'd like it.
So, but hang on, before we skip away from, do you find that maybe that Jones is in desperation mode there, since they've, you know, he's got to get his face out there, right?
His sales have went up and his views are up. You have to catch him live now. But people are starting to rip those and put them on YouTube anyway, man.
Okay.
So
is he allowed on YouTube if it's somebody else's channel?
That's a good question.
Because why wouldn't he just have somebody else's channel and just be like, this is fucking Blaulich's Blones, you know what I mean? Like,
one of the things they ended up accusing him of is that, okay, so, you know, if you get a community strike on YouTube, you can no longer live stream, right?
oh,
So he had a community for like 6 months. So he had a community strike on his main channel, so he was live streaming on a second channel, and that's against the rules.
okay.
So I know that's one thing. Other people, that person would probably get a strike. Yeah, for posting, I don't know, banned material. Who knows anymore, man? Just call up the new fucking Gorbals and ask them.
The new Gorbals?
Yeah.
I don't want to get sent to the gulags. I'm already in Facebook gulags.
Nazis. Or Goebbels was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Was Hitler's propagandist, right? Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, man, you want to take a break before the next segment? Or you just want to roll into
Let's do it. No, let's take a little.
Take a little break.
Yeah, that's what happens when you drink beer all night.
All right.
Okay, be right back.
Oh, I haven't added you to this one yet, Dave. And you are you're silenced, I do believe.
Yes, I was.
There's
Sorry.
your beautiful mug. Ooh, got scary just me there, man. I'm fucking. That's a rough look. Bam. I'm not sure if the EU flag we have waving back there is copyrighted. If they don't like it, they can fucking come blow me.
Talking about sovereign countries over here. Bitches.
Yeah, we're not starting there. We're starting here with Article 13. Am I doing all the presenting tonight, Dave?
You are, sir.
It seems like it.
You are, sir.
All right. The arm of my chair just popped off, so bear with me. I'm going to try to fix it while I talk. All right, so Article 11 and 13 have passed. I believe they have one more like rubber stamp to go through before everything's official, like in one of the first couple months of the year.
Can we all just agree that the EU is a kangaroo court?
The EU is pretty anti-democratic, man.
Yes.
You'd be surprised.
No, I know they are. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
yeah, it's very much pay for play.
yeah.
In a really unhealthy amount. I know America struggles with that, but not in the same way. And it's very oligarchic. You know, it's
Well, the difference would be that. So, like when you say that, you know, America's like that. That's politics in America. There's money involved, and you can buy your way in, but at least it's the citizens of that country, right?
well, okay. So their argument would be that it's really no different than someone from New York, which is where Trump is from, is elected and being over by minority vote, and is ruling over all the other states.
Okay.
Real loose. So they are all from the European Union, right?
Okay, but okay. I know that they're going to say that they're all Europeans, but the countries are vastly different.
Yes.
The cultures are vastly different. That's why they are always killing each other. It's not the same thing. If you think that the guys in East London appreciate that some fucking twat in Brussels is telling them what to do, you've lost your mind. Dustin.
I'm here, man. Give it to me.
I said, if you think that the guys in East London, or say in Belfast or Dublin or Glasgow, appreciate the fact that some twat in Brussels is making their laws, you've lost your mind.
No, but people said the exact same thing. They say that about DC now. Like,
but at least it's the same country.
Yes. Now,
when push comes to shove, you're the same country.
Yes.
So if there's an outside invader and it comes and attacks New York, the country bands together and they're like, "Fuck you."
Well,
if somebody comes and attacks a European country outside of them being NATO, the Italians are not going to get that upset.
Yeah,
NATO, but NATO's us.
You're absolutely right.
NATO's us. NATO isn't them; it's us.
Yes, the EU is very balkanized in comparison to the United States because, for one, it wasn't settled, and you got tens of thousands of years of divergent history. You have different languages. Like, we've talked about all this before, and no, they don't appreciate it, and it'll never work out. And there's problems right now between Hungary and the rest of them. And that's why this is coming out right here. That's why this is coming out right here. That we're going to start talking about Article 11 and 13.
Okay, go ahead. I interrupted.
Yes, sorry, I got distracted there, man. Europe is voting on a controversial law that could force Google, Facebook to block copyrighted content, and it's copyrighted content. So let's get into this. European parliamentarians are set to vote on a controversial copyright law that some critics believe could stop people from sharing memes and articles online. Okay, and they're saying that this is and it might do this, and it's an unexpected side effect. But I would say it's the purpose of it. Lawmakers in Strasbourg, France, will cast their votes on the European Union's new copyright directive on Wednesday. The result of that vote could determine whether large tech companies, including Facebook, Twitter, and Google, are forced to use filtering systems that block copyrighted content. Such firms may also be required to pay news organizations for the rights to share articles and other copyrighted protected content like scientific papers. Something that critics have dubbed a link tax. Okay? So what this will do is like, okay, on the very like first episode we did on the relaunch of this show back when Eli and Ed were with us, we linked about 8 or 9 scientific papers because we're talking about the difference in preferences in men and women, and the difference in the bell curves in men and women. And so if we are in Europe at that time, we would have to pay a tax for each one of those. It goes a little further than that. If you know, let's say CNBC here, if they were over in Europe and they copyright the thumbnail image that pops up, then when you post that to social media, that's copyright infringement, and you have to pay for that link as well to use the copyrighted material.
What I think is going on here is that they think that the internet caused Brexit, and Brexit is like the beginning of the death of the European Union, and they're trying to squash it.
Well, they've been fighting speech against the European Union and against migration from day one. And this is really the way to crack down on it. Okay, and the other thing this does is independent content creators, like, okay. So what we're doing right here of showing the article on the right with our picture and little flag here and all that, they could not do this now in Europe.
That's insane.
So you know, V, the content creator V, he's from Romania.
Okay.
So he used to do this type of thing where he would pretty much load up a news article and he'd have his picture up in the corner, and pretty much what we're doing here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now he's doing videos like Sticks Hexenhammer, where he just sits on the couch in front of the camera and talks about it. He doesn't show anything, doesn't link anything anymore. Just preparing for the new way to do it. So an interesting new study came out that shows that left-wing people pretty much get their news from what would be considered trusted, quote-unquote trusted, or just large centralized information. And that shouldn't surprise anyone, because that's what the left is about, right? It's the belief in the power of centralization and, like, you know, the official quote unquote being in charge. Right-wing people go to smaller independent content creators and websites at a substantially higher rate than left-wing people do. As I have moved to the right, I have went from reading CNBC, you know, and CNN and Huffington Post, and I have moved towards smaller independent people. I really have, and that's and this is specifically going to attack those people across Europe. So this is going to stamp down on the rise of an independent right-wing media in Europe. This is really going to stomp them down in a severe way.
So if the internet is worldwide,
yeah,
how are they able to do this?
By IP.
Because but you can just get a scrambler, right?
Yeah.
And then they can't fuck with you. But can't you, like, can't they then, you know, say that this is for North America, this isn't for Europe? Can they explicitly say at the beginning of a video, this is for North America?
I don't know, because it's supposed to like I think we might be getting shit for infringing on their copyright stuff. We'll have to see how it all comes out, man.
Well, they can suck my Canadian dick. How about that?
What they're gonna do is hold like Facebook and YouTube accountable for it, so they'll end up censoring us.
Oh, if Cuckersburg,
chances are that's the way it's going. So I'm gonna read a little more into this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The result of the vote could determine whether large tech companies, including Facebook, Twitter, Google, are forced to use filtering systems that block copyrighted content. Such firms may also be required to pay news organizations for the rights to share articles and other copyrighted protected content, like scientific papers, something that critics have dubbed the link tax. The proposed law has ignited a fierce debate, luring high-profile figures from both the tech and media industries. On the tech side, voices arguing against the legislation, including internet pioneer Tim Berners-Lee and Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales. Big names within the media sector who are mostly for the reforms range from former Beatle Paul McCartney, and might I say, fuck you, Paul McCartney, and French DJ David Guetta. I don't know who you are. I'd be more upset.
No, you want to be upset at him too.
Okay, well, fuck you too. You multi-fucking millionaire cocksuckers. Like, you're so upset that you don't get a fucking shekel every time a clip of your song is played on someone's fucking Facebook, you piece of fucking shit. And you're gonna sell your whole fucking continent under for it. You fucking gremlin.
You remember how we were talking about samples and
they shot the wrong Beatle, Dave. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. They shot the wrong fucking Beatle. Could that bullet not? That gun could hold more than one bullet, right?
Sure.
Find Paul McCartney back in 19 fucking who cares and shoot him too. Go on.
You remember how we were talking about samples and how that hip hop steals from rock music?
Yeah, I think that was off air, but yeah.
David, it was off air. I was asking you, not the fine, lovely people listening.
That don't watch.
That don't watch. David Guetta is an electronic DJ,
yes.
So he makes loops. He's a producer that makes loops and samples and remixes.
Yes, sir.
Everything he does has already been done before.
Right. Oh, fuck you. Double fuck you. At least Paul McCartney wrote some shit 40 years ago. Man, that's such a piece of shit. That's like when the guys from Metallica, it was long.
And he's not even very good at it either.
Not even very good at it.
No.
So yeah, they voted to delay it, but it just come back up and passed. So, and the other thing is, okay, so the filter, Dave, that means memes. Any meme that has a copyrighted picture. That means, artwork or anything. So clip from a movie, picture from a movie, SpongeBob, any characters. Okay? People have copyrighted these memes too, like the famous memes.
Can't you guys just take the internet back from them? Didn't you guys invent it? Just take it back.
You know, man, I swear to... Okay, so... if I was Facebook and Twitter, and like what I would do is like, well, guys, it's been nice, but a new Iron Curtain is up, and we're going back home. It's been fun. It's been fun. Look, and here's the thing: if people post offensive stuff, they have like a few days. I should look this up. They have a small window of time to remove it or face fines from the government. Our companies.
So Facebook, if somebody puts something offensive up there, the EU monitors that shit.
Yes. Well,
what?
I mean,
what the actual fuck?
They've thousands of people get arrested for this shit in Europe. So they're trying to move blame on the Facebook.
So do they have? Is this a job in the EU? Is to like scour the internet looking for offensive shit?
Yes, it actually is. It actually is. Let me pull this down. I'm gonna see if I can find this article, man. That's the okay. This is Article 13.
Jesus, and I like to complain about my government. Holy fuck.
Social media firms must face heavy fines over extreme content. The Guardian. Yeah.
But what they mean is extreme right content. Let's be honest, because
Yeah.
ISIS is still on there.
Fair enough. Yeah. Social media firms face huge hate speech fines in the Fourth Reich. Oh, I'm sorry, Germany. I misread that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you see how this is growing. Oh, I lost you, Dave. You there? Try to call Dave back. Well, guys, Europe got to him. Let me message him on Facebook, see what's going on. We'll come back.